Hey all. So I figured I'd start this video off with a quick update on where I'm at on the engine. As you can see, there's still no heads on it, and I'm just taking my time with this one, and I want to make sure it's done right. So at this point, there's still a couple of things I have left to do. I haven't put the balancer on yet. I think I'm going to wait till last because that may need the front cover to be adjusted, so we'll see what happens with that. But I put the valley cover on. Hopefully that doesn't need to come back off. Lifters and lifter trays are in there. Cylinders are still looking good. I'll probably give them another coat of WD-40 here shortly. But that's for the engine. Now, I did get a couple parts in, and since it's really cold outside today, I might try to do some work here in the garage. But I did get the ARP head bolts. They did come in, and there's the part number for them. So these are the six-sided head bolts. It's like they come with pretty much everything. This is only the first time I opened up the box. But yeah, that's them. Six-sided head, which is what I prefer. I don't really care for the 12-sided, but that's just personal preference, I think. So, don't really need that. So these, I'm going to wait on these. This is probably going to be one of the last things I do. I just want to make sure everything's square, because once you get that head on, I don't want to take it back off again. So I'm gonna wait on these for a bit. I also got the I decided to finally go through with it, and I did get the Trunion kit. There's the comp cams part number. So looks like it comes with everything. I haven't really done any real looking into this box yet either, but I might do that today, since it'll probably take a while and I got some time today to do it. So I might do the Trunion's upgrade today. General idea, if you're not aware, is what it does is it replaces these trunnions in the center of the rocker arms with some, I guess, higher quality ones, and then it also keeps the bearings on the inside of these from falling out, because there's a lock ring or a snap ring, I guess, that goes around there, and it'll keep them from falling out. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think the other thing I'm going to try to do today is I'll probably try to, I actually went to Harbor Freight this morning. I got a dial indicator. So I'm going to try to go ahead and do that. And also I'll probably, so what I'll do with this is I'll probably try to check the piston to valve clearance the official way. I'll show you the second method of doing it. I showed you the first with the clay, and I kind of wasn't really happy with that, so I'm going to try to do it again and see if I get any kind of better results and see what happens. But this push rod, I also want to check the push rod length, and I don't know if I'm going to do that today or not, but we'll see. But this push rod checker, this came from Jegs, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. It says every turn is 50 thousandths of an inch, and I think that's pretty common with push rod checkers, but I really don't know how long this checker is to start off with. I talked to Jegs about it, and they're really helpful, but they I think they don't really know how it works either. So I really kind of am guesstimating at what I'm doing here, so I'm going to try to figure that one out, but I don't know if I'm going to do that today or not. So anyway, maybe I'll go ahead and start working on the trunnions and show you how to do that, and then if we get a chance, I'll try to do the piston or valve clearances, the second method as well. So that's kind of where I stand. I guess this is kind of a mid-engine build update, if you will, but since it's cold, I'll try and get some stuff done today, so we'll see what happens. Depends on how long it takes, I guess. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so just real quick, I just wanted to show you that it's actually not too bad. I was making more work than it needed to by using the washers. So if you actually just use the sockets themselves, it's not too bad. You can just kind of, this is a one-person job if you do it right. But really, you just get the sockets, kind of place them right here to try and push this thing out here. And then once you do that, all you got to do is just kind of push it. It does take a little bit of force, but don't worry, I don't think you're going to break it. You can kind of see it move. And then once you do that, just kind of set your hand under it. Obviously it takes a little bit to get it going, but you just set your hand under it and then it'll kind of just pop at the end here. Just catch it. There you go. You just catch both of them. That's it. It's that simple. And you just collect them in your little cup, and the bearings will go all over the place. So just be aware of that. All right, I'm gonna finish up the rest of these. All right, real quick, just another thing I wanted to show real quick. There are like some maybe stamping marks or something in these rocker arms on the left side, as you can see. I'm putting the socket, just a suggestion, I'm putting the larger socket on that side, so that way it kind of sits even. So just a suggestion, that's how I'm doing it. But I think it kind of makes it easier to put the larger socket there. So that's what I'm doing. Alright, well, as you can see here, this is the reason why we're taking them out. These tiny little bearings will spill everywhere. I need a second set of hands, or I need to figure out a way to catch these guys. But it actually wasn't too hard to get it out. Just a little bit of light pressure with the vise here. And I used a 22 millimeter half-inch socket and a where's the other one? 9/16 3/8 socket. So this is the one I used to push it, and this is the one I used to kind of catch it. This is I need a second set of hands or something, or somewhere to catch it, because the bearings just spilled like everywhere. But it actually wasn't too hard to get out. Here's the empty rocker arm, and I'll put in the new trunnions and show you that process too. Okay, now I'm gonna press in the new one as gently as possible using the washers that they provided. And you do want the letters facing outward, so that is key here. But it looks good. I'm going to try the other side now. Okay, so I just dropped the trunnion in. I don't think it really matters because it's going to rotate anyway, which side is up or down. But I'm going to put it in like the instructions said, and I am going to try and press this guy in now. Let's see how this goes. Where it should be. It seems like it wants to move. So it seems to want to rotate. I think that's alright, so this is kind of the difference here. This one's looks like it's quite a bit beefier, as you can tell. It does rotate fully around, so I'm guessing that that's probably the top maybe, and this is probably the bottom, since the rocker tray, or whatever you want to call it, has like a rounded edge, so I think that's the bottom. Whereas this one, you know, it just goes back and forth kind of like that. but that's the top there. But it definitely seems a little bit beefier. I haven't put on the clips yet. I'll do that here shortly. But it looks like it's got some heft to it. And the bearings are already pre-greased, so you don't have to do any of that. As you can kind of see, they're already greased on the inside and ready to go. It keeps the bearings, I guess, inside it as well. But it looks like it's all ready to go. So I'm gonna do the rest of these, and then I think that'll be it. All right. So now that I've gotten in the hang of this, I'm gonna kind of show you what I do here. So for starters, I just take the first bearing, make sure the lettering is face up, as you can kind of tell, and then I put the bearing, kind of just generally set it in there. Doesn't have to be perfect, and then I take it and I put it in the press with the little washer here. And then I just press it in. Pretty simple. Go all the way till it's flush here. Right there. Take that out. Now what I do is I take the trunnion, clean it up a little bit because they are kind of dirty in the box. They got a little bit of box crap in them. So take the trunnion, drop it in the rocker arm like so. It's nice and snug. So I'll take the other bearing and again face up. Bearings definitely has to be face up, and then I put it on top, and then I just kind of just to get it started, I just kind of press it in just to get it started. Washer on it, press it in to get it started like so. It'll stop, and then what I'll do is I'll take the next washer, the other side, and just kind of make sure the trunnion is centered, and then I'll put kind of make sure the trunnion is centered between the two washers. That way it holds them in place and it's not as hard to hold it while I'm trying to seat this thing. And then boom, it's set. So now I just press it in, and it'll go. The other thing I try to do is I try to make sure that the actual trunnion is still kind of free movement. It does get a little bit sticky. Whoops. Try not to drop it on the ground, obviously, but sometimes that happens. That's why it always helps. Might help to have a second set of hands holding this thing. I put a little bolt in it, and just make sure it still has freedom of movement as I'm kind of squashing it together here. It does get a little bit tight, but once you loosen it, it should have freedom of movement. So as you can kind of see, it still moves pretty freely. So I think we're going to call that a success. So all in all, I think the whole process took me about 2.5 to 3 hours. So not too bad, but definitely a lot of work. Just playing for a long time of getting the hang of it. But once you get the hang of it, it's actually not too bad. So there are a couple of loose bearings in this bag, which makes me a little bit nervous. But I checked every single bearing I put in, and didn't see any missing out of any of the bearings that I put in. So hopefully that's just some manufacturing, maybe there could be a little excess or something, I don't know. But that should do it. So now put them in the engine. All right. So the next part is, now that I've gotten everything in and the trunnions are in there pretty well, they do move pretty freely. I'm going to go ahead and put the snap rings in. As you can see, there's two sides that hang off here, and each side will get a snap ring as the directions kind of show. So I'll go ahead and do that, show you one, and then just go ahead and do the others. It's not too hard, so pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go ahead and just show you one of them. 1. Two, and just repeat for all the others, so I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, so for this portion, I'm just replacing the stocks rocker arm bolts with the new ones. They give you new bolts to go with it. So here's the old bolts. I'm replacing them with these Allen key style bolts. So just gonna put those in, and it says torque them down to 22 foot-pounds. So I'm not gonna show all that, but just gonna put them in. Hopefully they are different heights, so hopefully they do fit. If there's any issue, I will let you know with that. So you can kind of see they're two different heights here. But the size of the Allen key is a 6mm, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it and see what happens. I think it'll work. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. We'll make you watch all that, so I'll be done shortly.